Americans who fly the Confederate flag. Why do you fly it? I have family members who were raised in the South. So many of them were raised to believe that the Confederacy was an element of hometown pride. A few of them were taught about the Civil War as the War of Northern Aggression. They got the whitewashed version of real history, and they were raised to believe that Confederate soldiers were just people who really loved the South. I have one uncle in his 60s who had an entire room in his house decorated with Confederate stuff, mostly artwork of soldiers and battles. When the debate about taking down Confederate statues started to pick up a few years ago, he looked so heartbroken, like after 60 years of being told one thing, he realized the truth. He took everything down. There are plenty of people who fly that shit because they're racist trash. But I wish more people knew how inaccurately the Civil War in history has been taught to so many people, and why some of these people feel a connection to Confederate bullshit. Hats off to your uncle for being open-minded and humble enough to recognize he was wrong and make a change. The world needs more of that. I'm a middle-aged Canadian man. When I was a kid, I loved Dukes of Hazzard. For my 6th birthday, my mom put together a Dukes of Hazzard themed birthday party, where the table was a big Confederate flag and we had Confederate flags everywhere. Sorry, I know that's not quite what you're asking, but it's sorta relevant in a way. The idea of this Canadian kid going wild over a Dukes of Hazzard party is pretty damn hilarious. No offense. ITT. A bunch of Redditors who don't understand how voting works on Reddit. Sort by controversial to see all the actual answers. This question was asked to Americans who fly the flag, not to people who know people who fly the flag, and then voicing their own opinions about the person or the flag. The upvote and downvote system is meant to sort by relevance, not by opinion. All the answers with a negative vote are the ones that should be at the top. But Redditors are too stupid to upvote the correct responses because they somehow believe that in upvote means I agree with this. I was really interested in seeing the responses to this question, and instead I got a bunch of people bitching and moaning at the people who answered it properly. You can discuss your opinion as a response to their response, but don't downvote them just because you disagree. More and more people are just doing it out of spite these days. The more you tell someone they're racist for this and that, the more people think, you know what, fuck you. Appreciate the answer, but I would have liked to hear it from the monsieur. You're not going to get any first-hand answers to this. This is Reddit lol. I already got about 5 lol. I have a Confederate flag tattoo. When I got it, I honestly believed the War of Northern Aggression was the truth. I believed that the South fought against an oppressive government. I was 100% sold on the lost cause ideology. They were regular soldiers fighting for their rights. They weren't all slave owners, I said, never asking myself what those rights were. I want it removed, covered up, or just a big black box put over it. But I can't afford it. I tried to get an appointment with one of those tattoo parlors in the news that said they'd cover up racist tattoos for free or at a low cost. Was told that just having the flag didn't count, wasn't really a hate tattoo, and therefore didn't qualify. I disagree. I am ashamed of the mark on my skin. If only 35-year-old me could tell 18-year-old me of the mistake I was making. But I live with it. I see it every day and feel shame. I don't wear a shirt at the beach because I am ashamed of my weight body. I wear it because I am ashamed of how ignorant I was. It is my scarlet letter that I keep hidden. Unlike Hester, I am terrified that someone will see it and judge me like I judged others when I got it. Showed this to a friend and this is what he had to say. Growing up in the South, the flag was everywhere. Businesses and government buildings flew it. People had bumper stickers and hats of it. I just accepted that this was part of our culture. Just a symbol of our way of life. We were told a lot about the Civil War, because the South recognizes the Civil War as an American Holocaust and is aware that it was fought over slavery. However, We were also taught that the Confederate flag isn't a symbol of racism, but a symbol of Southern pride and heritage. I believed it. After all, I knew black people that flew this flag and were proud of it. A black kid I knew from high school flew the flag on the back of his truck. A black family in my neighborhood flew it on a flagpole in their front yard. It was everywhere. I couldn't push myself to believe that everyone who flew this flag is a bigoted person. Now, I understand why people don't want to fly it. I don't, because I don't want people to get the wrong idea and because I can lose my job. I still stand by the notion that the flag can be interpreted multiple ways and it depends on your viewpoint. Hold on, let me dig up and reanimate my perpetually jobless, cirrhosis-ridden abusive uncle so you can ask, "Hi monsieur." That would be nice, thank you. But only for like 15 minutes tops. Bear with me here. What is the essence of gender identity? It is the idea that gender is a social concept, but true to the individual holding it. That means that if you believe you're a woman, even if you are biologically a male, you can call yourself a woman and it wouldn't be unreasonable for you to ask others to call you a woman. The polite thing for people to do would be to recognize your personal identity and call you by what you believe you are. Now, hold on to that essence. I'm not saying that gender identity and symbolic identity are the exact clones of each other. I'm saying that the essence of personal identity holds true for both. Both can mean things differently to the individual. A different example of symbolic identity is the swastika. The swastika is commonly associated with the Nazi regime, but to some, it is a symbol of peace. Remember to hold on to that essence. I'm not saying that the swastika is the exact replica of the Confederate flag. I'm saying that the essence of personal identity makes the wearing of one valid if one believes that it is the symbol of peace, regardless of how others see it. So on to the Confederate flag. I was in the military, and thus exposed to different cultures, including Southern U.S. cultures. To many of these people, the Confederate flag doesn't represent the idea that slavery should be brought back, or that the South should have won the Civil War. It's a symbol of their hometown and where they were born, which is the South. It represents a pride in Southern identity. Now I get that most of you are unfamiliar with what that means. How can a person have pride in Southern identity? Being a Southerner must mean being a racist. Right, wrong. That's what you've been told you ought to believe. It is a level of ignorance as someone who is told that gender and sex are the same thing. Just as a person unfamiliar with trans identity haven't been informed about the nuance of gender, you also haven't been informed about the nuance of Southern culture. Southern culture is about hospitality, food, and certain mannerisms which makes it distinguishable from other cultures. Gender used to refer to the identification of biological sex, but now it means something different. Same with being a Southerner. To most Southerners, the Confederate flag used to mean advocacy of slavery and racism. Now it doesn't. It is their personal identity. It is rude to tell them to conform to your own interpretation of their personal identity, just as it would be rude to tell a transgender woman that they're a man. I don't fly the flag. I don't fly any flag tbh. I think they're stupid, but that's neither here nor there. Yes, a lot of people are super fucking racist and they fly it like they're wiggling a racist boner. But as someone who was born and raised and still is in South Louisiana, I can honestly say it is mostly just a Southern pride thing, which is not totally unwarranted. As much as I hate this place most of the time, I wouldn't trade it for the world. People are mostly educated and open, or at least trying to be. They're generally friendly AF, and the food is the best in the country, at least from what I've experienced. You gotta TLDR that sucker. I get what you're trying to do, but conflating and treating an abstract concept such as gender with literal symbols such as a flag and a swastika isn't really a one-to-one link, and it just seems like an easy way to try and discount people who'd counter your stance. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.